Welcome to Royal Secrets. Claim: the Meghan Markle podcast settles scores after the princess was dubbed scheming. But before we continue, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates. A royal analyst asserted that Meghan Markle's Spotify podcast was an opportunity for her to put things right after being disparaged in a recent book. A day after Meghan Markle's debut podcast episode aired, Hollywood journalist Kinsey Schofield asserts that the Duchess of Sussex is launching the Spotify podcast in order to settle scores. Ms. Schofield claims that Meghan impliedly criticizes royal biographer Tom Bower after he called her ambitious and scheming in his tell-all investigative book about Meghan Markle's life, Revenge. According to Ms. Schofield, Meghan had the chance to refute these charges on the podcast. In a statement to GB News, Mr. Schofield asserted, "When you marry a prince, you are not ambitious, despite what her accusers have said. That is referred to as striking it rich. When you marry a royal, you've won the lottery. And from the outside looking in, I genuinely believe that this podcast has a hidden agenda based solely on its content. And that is making amends. With this episode in particular, you can kind of see her go for Tom Bower in response to his assertion that she is ambitious and cunning." Serena Williams reportedly disclosed to a media source that they weren't necessarily close friends, according to the book. He also challenges her Procter & Gamble claim. Now, she discusses all of those topics in her podcast's introductory episode. Ms. Schofield cited a passage from the first Spotify episode in which Meghan Markle criticizes the labels, the archetypes, and the boxes that we're put into. Kinsey Schofield interprets this passage as a direct refutation of royal biographer Tom Bower's assertion that Meghan was very cunning and very scheming in choosing to wed Prince Harry in order to boost her notoriety. Meghan expresses sadness that the emphasis is on how it appears rather than on how it feels in the podcast after discussing the terrifying fire event that occurred in Archie's nursery in South Africa. It involves being aware of the unseen human moments that go on behind the scenes and encouraging people to take breaks from one another. Because we did. Our infant had to be abandoned. And even though we were later moved to a different location, we still had to part ways with him to attend another official engagement. In the podcast, Meghan Markle describes how upset she was to learn that Archie's nursery had caught fire. Because his nanny was in the kitchen with him when the fire started, the baby was spared. Prince Harry and Meghan did attend 2 engagements on their first day in South Africa, according to BuzzFeed News' Ellie Hall, putting an end to rumors that she put her maternity leave ahead of her royal obligations. Meghan claimed that she and Harry were so uneasy that they requested to cancel their afternoon engagement in order to spend more time with their kid, but they were informed that doing so would look bad on social media. When she discontinued her Spotify show, Meghan really cut it close. It has to be revealed now. A royal expert said Meghan Markle really cut it close with the timing of the debut of her brand new podcast. On Tuesday, Meghan's podcast Archetypes debuted with its inaugural episode available only on Spotify. Although there was never a formal announcement of a release date, the makers did state that it would be ready summer 2022. The hosts of the royally obsessed podcast, Roberta Fiorito and Rachel Bowie, discussed how the Duchess of Sussex's podcast was a long time coming and how releasing it thus late in the summer season was really cutting it close in their most recent episode. Said Ms. Fiorito, 2 years have passed since the Sussex's partnership with Spotify was widely publicized. This has taken a while to happen. She mentioned that Meghan was really cutting it close and that the podcast was slated for a late summer publication. The first episode debuted on the first day of Virgo season, Ms. Fiorito further stated. August seems to be their season, she continued. According to a news release, the podcast episodes will concentrate on labels that attempt to hold women back. The Duchess stated in a podcast preview that Meghan will have talks with women who know all too well how these typecasts influence our narratives. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for